I tell you, the highlight, I think, for me this last year was being able to preach the gospel in Jerusalem to Russians that had recently made Aliyah, Jewish believers. I shouldn't say Jewish believers, I should say Jewish people that had immigrated to Israel from Russia. They did not know Messiah Yeshua. They did not know Jesus. And we did some humanitarian work in Israel. And through that humanitarian work, we were able to build some relationships through our on-the-ground team that we partner with there and invite them to hear a message. And they didn't know what they were going to hear. We just invited them to hear a lecture. After the lecture, we had buses that brought them on a tour of Jerusalem. But they came and assembled in the auditorium there. And I began to share, beloved ones, my own personal testimony, how I, as a Jewish person almost 40 years ago, knowing nothing about Jesus, having no one that had ever witnessed to me, how Jesus appeared to me in the middle of the night in 1978 and revealed himself to me. I began to share with these new Israeli citizens, these Jews that had made Aliyah from Russia, living in the land. I began to share with them my story. Then I shared with them how Jesus completes everything that the prophets in the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament wrote about, how Jesus fulfilled what Moses wrote about. I couldn't tell if any of them were receiving what I had to say. As I looked out over the 500 that were there, their faces seemed pretty flat. I had no idea whether the word that I was bringing them was registering or not. But what I did sense while I was speaking to them was a very powerful, cutting-edge anointing. In fact, while I was ministering, I literally was talking to God in my spirit. I said, Lord, I don't know if anybody's going to respond to this word that I'm delivering, but I feel your power upon me, and I feel the fire and the precision of your anointing that's moving through me as I'm sharing your words. I got down towards the end of my message. Once again, they were straight-faced. I didn't know if even one person would respond. But as I began to get down towards the end of my message, I looked in the front row and I saw tears streaming down one of the person's, the individual's faces that was seated there towards the front. And I saw that God was breaking through. And then I said, if tonight, if this afternoon rather, when I was sharing, you feel God touching your heart and you want to receive Yeshua, you want to receive Jesus as your Messiah, I said, just raise your hand. And I was so blessed when I saw, beloved, approximately 100 of these Jewish Israeli citizens raise their hand to receive Jesus, to receive Yeshua as their Messiah. What an awesome day that was, especially for me being raised in a very Jewish neighborhood, being raised in a Jewish community, sharing my faith with everybody in Cleveland, all my old friends where I grew up, and not seeing any of them respond. To be in the land of Israel preaching the gospel and to see so many Jewish Israeli citizens respond to receive Jesus, it was just amazing and unbelievable for me. In fact, what I have found is that Jewish people in Israel are more receptive to Jesus than Jews in the United States are. That's been my